Hey, hi, Akash. Welcome to Software Testing Hacks. So today, we are going to take a mock interview. You can answer it calmly.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you, man,
Yeah.
for this opportunity.
Yeah. Could you please introduce yourself?
Okay. First of all, good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Akash Kolle. I have 4 years of experience in manual testing. In 4 years, I successfully completed two projects and currently working on from one last 1.5 years. I'm working as a self-post tester in my same organization. So I have experience in manual testing and I am responsible for requirement analysis, preparing test cases, execution of test cases. If found any defect, then track the defect, and if the defect is fixed, then again test the retesting and all that, and prepare the RTM requirement recipe matrix, and that is all about me.
Okay. Great. Okay. Uh, can you tell me why software testing is required?
Okay. So I give a real example in real life. Whenever we prepare something in our home, when some colleagues or some came in our home, so we taste first whatever we prepared to serve them. So in same fundamental we use in testing whatever we develop by developer. So we test the application in a real time when we application go in the production. So whatever the end user is not face any kind of issue at the time of using the application. So that's why testing is required. And without we if we not test the application, we directly deploy into the production. So it may or might have more chances to several application may be uh, crack or something it not helpful for user. User face a lot of difficulty at the time using the application. So that's why software testing is required.
Right. So that's a unique example that you took. Okay. And can you tell me what is boundary value analysis?
In software testing, there is a technique that we are used to prepare a test cases for testing application or software that developed by the developers. So boundary value analysis is a technique that are used to develop the prepare a test cases for testing purpose. So in boundary value, suppose there is a field called age, and the age range between 18 to 60. So in that we cannot check each and every value from 18 to 16
Mhm.
or more than that. So we check the boundary that will help to it will it take less time to test. So we check the boundaries of the actual value 18, 18 minus 1 plus 18 plus 1 and 18 and 16, 59 and 61.
Okay. So that is how you will test the boundaries of
Boundary
any
value
of the
analysis.
given. Yeah. Okay. Do you know what is cause effect graph?
Hello, ma'am.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Do you know what is cause effect graph?
cost effect graph. I'm not here. This is the first time I heard about this.
Okay. Cause effect graph is when you have any issues occurs. Okay. It is also called as
Okay.
fishbone diagram. What happens is we will backtrack how this issue occurred, how this error occurred. So we will backtrack it. That structure will look like a fishbone. So this is called cause
Okay.
effect graph. Basically, to identify any issue, we will have to backtrack each of the issue, what has happened. So each of this, they will document it and they'll write it. So it looks like a fish bone. So that's what is called
Okay.
cause effect. What happened for that issue to occur. So that is checked for cause effect graph. And can
Okay,
you
ma'am.
tell me what is integration testing and what are the different types of integration testing and why integration testing is required?
Okay. So integration testing is a type of testing that we test the multiple modules that developed by the developer. we do integration testing when unit testing is completed and unit testing done by developers. When two or more than two models we uh, completed, that we do integration testing and check the data flow between them. And there is a two type of integration testing. One is a top down and bottom up approach that we follow at the time of testing, integration testing.
Yeah. And there is another type of integration testing, which is sandwich approach.
And yeah, sandwich
Hmm. So can you
is a
tell me
combination of
why?
both top and
Yeah.
top.
Can you tell me why this integration testing is important?
Because in agile methodology, we uh, develop the software in piece, in small unit, or we can see in agile we say that it's in a sprint. So we can't create a whole software at a time. So we develop the modules and deliver to the client when we some functionality is working fine. So in integration there is multiple models we connect to each other and test the application. There is a check the data flow between them, how the application is working and how the data flow is as per our requirement. For example, I take an example. IRTC, when we go on IRTC website and book the ticket at the time of payment, when we click on the some UPI transaction, so it's your option for UPI is Google Pay, Phone Pay. So when we click on Google Pay, it's directly navigate to that Google Pay applications. So it check the integrity between that applications or models.
Right. Correct. So that is the third party integration, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
third party integration.
okay. Yeah. So do you have any idea of mobile testing?
No, I'm not working on mobile testing, but I know there is app and they are used in mobile testing.
Okay. Can you tell me what could be the difference between web app testing and mobile testing? Is there any difference between them?
Okay, so mobile testing require one basic for one operating system or for you can say it's a platform required for the mobile testing. Without platform, we can't do mobile testing. But in web testing, we test the application web server, web browsers, different web browsers, and in web testing, we do functional testing, performance testing, and in mobile testing also we do same. But in web testing, we want only URL that given by the developer. And in mobile web testing, we require .apk file that we install in the mobile platform and to test the application. Am I right, Mom?
Right, right. That's that's the main difference, which is correct. But along with that, when it comes to features, there is one another thing. In mobile apps, usually the features would be less. Okay, it would be differs from whatever it is in the web. It completely depends. Some of the application would give a lot of features or a lot of additional features in web apps. And when it comes
Yeah,
to if they have the same web app, the features could be limited or some of the settings could be restricted. So
yeah.
that is also one difference that you can see.
Due to database issue or size of that application, it might be more in mobile testing.
No,
If
it is
add more
not.
functionality,
Hmm. Maybe, but what you can say is it completely differs. It is dependent on the customers. Basically, they will try to bring the user-friendly and environment in mobile apps, which should be easy,
okay,
and other stuff will be considered. But in case of web application, uh, it is having a lot of other options too. So that
of
sometimes you might
course,
have seen if you open some of the application right now, I am not able to recall any application, but yeah, you can go and check it in some of the applications. So you will get the difference.
yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. And so can you explain me what is API testing?
Okay. In API testing, we check the request URL, status code, and response body of the API. So some in our organization we develops our own API, or some organization they use third-party API for testing the purpose. So in API testing, we test the end URL of the application and check the status code of the application. If you put some any HTTP methods like get, post, put, patch, or delete, so we can check the status code of the application. In post, we are required a request body that we need to send to the server. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So those are the things. Okay. What is exhaustive testing? And is it good to do exhaustive testing?
Exhaustive testing, we test the application when we have less documentation and some missing functionality. So we do exhaustive testing randomly to break the application. In the exhaustive testing is the main aim to break the when the application break, because we don't know how the end user will use the application, right? So that's why we do exhaustive testing.
Actually, it is not uh, suggested to do exhaustive testing. Exhaustive testing, in the sense, repeatedly given some of the values. Suppose in case of boundary value analysis and other examples that you gave, right?
Yeah, I got it now. I recall. Exhaustive testing
Hmm.
is a principle of software testing, right, ma'am?
Hmm. It is one of the principle of
Yeah, yeah.
software.
It's one of the principle of
Hmm.
software testing, and
Hmm.
we exhaustive testing is there is a value that accept a decimal value up to 2 digit. So we try 99.90, 91, 99.92. So we can't repeat again and again same
Hmm.
thing. So it's not possible to do exhaustive testing.
Right. Well, moving to the next question. So, what is the role of documentation in software testing?
So in previous, before the agile methodology, we focus on the prepare documentation. What are the requirement coming from the client or customer? So we focus on the documentation. We prepare the SRS document, BRS document, and after the SRS and BRS, we move forward. But in agile, we have less document. We only focus on the build and deliver the application to the client as early as possible. Agile has main motto is to deliver quality a piece of product to the client within a few weeks of time, and it have less documentation. It only focus on the deliver the product to the client, and documentation play a main role in, because whatever the requirement we analyze from gather from the client, after that BA or some product manager will be prepare the application or software document to uh, prepare some document development and to develop the application and test the application for that.
Right. So, documentation is very important, basically.
Yeah, it's important.
Right. Okay. Suppose you have an application and you are testing it. Okay. But how
Yeah.
do you decide when to stop testing?
Okay. So we test the application. So, whenever we prepare the test cases that have from the gather requirement from the requirement analysis, and after we prepare the test cases to test the application. So when all the functionality or test scenario that are prepared, so that functionality has met the criteria. So that time we stop the testing, software testing, and we said that now it's application ready to in production work.
Okay. But any other cases, suppose say you have
Other case.
uh, uh, I mean you are saying that one case is when you find that the requirement is met. Okay. Suppose in case
Okay.
you're not able to find further defects, that is where you decide, yeah, we can stop testing now, right?
Yeah.
And also suppose some situations like there is a time constraint. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, when there
So
is a time constraint. So within the time you have to finish the testing. So then also you will stop the testing. Suppose you are
yeah,
asked to perform a hmm,
but in that situation, we check the priority cases first that have the main effect, not impact on business. So
hmm.
we sort the test cases, and that test cases executed first. Then we move the low severity test cases that will not impact on business. So that time also we stop the testing
Yeah.
when the main functionality is working fine.
So there are certain different criterias that we will choose, and if that is met, we will stop the testing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So fine. Can you tell me if some uh, requirement are continuously changing? In that case,
Okay.
how do you deal with that? Usually in agile
So
or
yeah.
any other model. So there will be requirement continuously gets changed. You will have to repeatedly do the work or
Yes.
hmm, handle this.
Yes.
How do you do that?
So in in that situation, first we whatever the requirement changes from the client, so we check what is the complexity of that requirement that we need to uh, implement in our current sprint. So we check the complexity, and I will decide that if the suppose client want this implementation in current this I want this in this same print or current sprint. So we delay the sprint if the complexity is too more. If complexity is less, then we try to deliver on same sprint also.
Yeah. So that is the process. Definitely, in that case, we will have to see whatever is best possible. We have to provide it to our customers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Suppose say, um, so do you know what is a test case or use case basically? Not the test case, but what is use case?
Use case is nothing but the we think always tester as think as a end user when we test the application. So whatever the difficulty user found at end user found, that will be we also found in testing also, testing page testing also in application. So use case is nothing but when we use the application that we face some difficulty at the time of testing. So this is also use case. Am I right?
Right. So whatever you think as per the end user perspective, what different things that he can perform on the application. So that is correct. So that you will
Okay.
consider it as an use case.
Okay.
Have you ever prepared this?
No, still not at
Usually we will not prepare it. Yeah,
not
right.
at.
Yeah, right. Can you explain me the bug life cycle?
Okay. So a bug life cycle, when we developer give the build for testing, first we do smoke testing and check the main and critical functionality of the application. If the application is stable, then we move forward to test the application. When at the time of testing, when we found a bug, so we logged the bug in a we use Jira to log the defect. So that time the bug status will be open. When the developer will check, and a developer lead will be assigned to that bug, that particular developer those they have developed that functionality, or there will be open status. If the developer lead will assign that bug to the particular developer, then will be status will be assigned assigned, and if not, then it's open. Then any developer came and fix that defect. Once the defect is fixed by developer, then tester will test the that defect using retesting that defect, whether the bug, what are the bug we rise in the, so it fix or not. If the bug is fixed, then it will be fixed, and if it's not fixed, then it will be reopen. And sometime developer uh, defect means defer the bug that we have post or log, or it will be read There is a one thing also called as defer and I can't
Rejected,
recall there is
defer.
yeah, rejected.
Hmm.
That is all about the defect life cycle.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me what is the difference between verification and validation?
Verification, validation, it is the methodology that we use in before the agile for develop the application. Verification and validation, we develop the application and test the application at the same time, and
Uh,
it focus on documentation,
hmm.
mainly focus on documentation, BRS, SRS, HL, I think high level documentation, low level documentation.
This is for verification or validation?
Verifications for
Hmm.
documentation and validation is total part testing and development.
So what happens is that is right, but verification is you have static documentation. I mean the documentation
Yeah,
where you will go
documentation.
through, suppose say a code review. Okay, and then there are some of the review meetings that people, I mean that we will be having, right? Review meetings and walkthrough meetings. So these are the types of static verification where we will check whether are we building the right product.
Product.
Okay. Huh.
We
And
develop
in
right product, and
huh,
validation, we check that whatever product we develop is right or not.
right. So have we built it properly or not? Have we built it right? So that is what we will check in validation. Basically, we will do all the validation by putting our test cases and positive and negative cases, all this.
Negative test.
Yeah. So this is how we will perform the validation. Okay.
Yes.
What are the aspects that you consider while creating the test data?
For test data, we consider so whatever the we go through the SRS document. On the basis of that, we prepare a test data, which comes under the functionality, main functionality or overall functionality of application. You after we consider in the test data that we are required to check the every function of the application.
You are
We
breaking
derived
it.
from the test data is derived from test cases. Sorry,
Hmm.
in SRS document.
Okay. Okay. Along with that, you have to think in positive factor, negative factor, all this data you have to
Yeah.
collect it. Right? Yeah. So you have to consider all that. That is right. And can you tell me, do you send status report each day or each week?
Yes.
Why do you send it, and what is the use of sending it?
So status report, it give who is the project manager or the scrum master will take the responsibility of to deliver the product to the client on uh, that date. So it show the how our team will be working and how will the project work is in progress. That will help to track the progress of the project.
Right. Okay, that is right. Great. And coming to, can you tell me some of the common mistakes that as QAs we do? Some of the common mistakes that you have felt this is what we are doing, mistake like that.
Common mistake. Sorry, I can't recall.
Yeah. So one common thing that we miss is understanding the requirement. Sometimes the understanding between we and the developers will be different. So our
Yeah.
thinking perspective would be different. So there will be a miss. Okay. So that is one major mistake that usually we QAs will face.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Okay. Suppose there are some of the minor and then major issues in the testing. While we
Okay.
test, we have some of the minor and major defects. And now we want to go to production. Is it okay to go to production?
No, it's not. It's not okay to go to production because the major. It's not think about minor, but it major that will impact on the business, client business. So it we lost the client trust on the our company, but we can't go. We delay the release, but we go with the first we check the major defects that we have in our application.
Yeah, that too, it depends on the workaround. Suppose there is any workaround, well, at least we can think of. Otherwise,
Yeah,
if there is no other workaround, then definitely we have to stop
because it
going to
directly
the
impact on the
production.
client business.
Okay, yeah, right. So, yeah, I think we have covered from most of the manual topics. Coming to
Yeah.
automation, I mean, you
Uh,
just have the Java knowledge, right?
no, I'm not working on automation testing.
Okay, okay. So I think then we have covered most of the things from manual testing. Yeah, coming to the feedback, I think you have good knowledge and good understanding of software testing. And you can, say, you can crack any interviews, no doubt in that, because today whatever I asked is not really a direct questions which are related to the process as well, how we really deal with day-to-day life. So yeah, it was good. Um, so yeah, do you have any questions or queries?
No, ma'am, I have no query.
Yeah,
But,
great.
but thank you for this opportunity to come out my fear in, and I'm ready for next upcoming interviews.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thank you then.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Same to you.